Pastors Chooks and Toyin Ogoye. Pastors Chooks and Toyin Ogoye are the lead pastors of Resurrection Life Church, Johannesburg, South Africa. They are passionate about building families and raising men and women who transform and uplift the standard of life in their communities through understanding and applying biblical principles. Pastor Chooks and Pastor Toyin frequently host workshops, seminars, and conferences for transformation. Some of their programs include Kingdom Financiers Conferences, Dream Achievers Conferences, Marriage Enrichment Courses and Seminars, for wives-only seminars, Single Ladies Boot Camps, and Limitless Men Seminars. They are the founders of the Power of Women Academy, a group mentorship for high-impact women, and host the annual Power of Women conferences and amazing Power of Women broadcasts. For more information, please visit www.idelight.co.za and www.reslife.org.za or WhatsApp +27 814 210 835.
Good evening. It's another Thursday evening, and we are glad because it's the amazing Power of Woman broadcast. And today is the last Thursday in the month of October. And so, just before I get into that, the last day of the month of October, the last Thursday rather, just to mention, this broadcast is because I born out of this book that was written by Pastor Chooks, The Amazing Power of Woman. And so that's why we run this broadcast, just to explain and just to expand on the different spheres of a woman, her spirit, her soul, and her body. And we bring you different teachings every Thursday, just talk around or speak into those aspects of her life. So we will speak into her in terms of her body, in terms of her health. We will speak into her in terms of her spirit man. We will speak to her in terms of her soul, being renewed so that she can be all that God has called her to be. And with me here is Pastor Chooks Obina. We'll go ahead. Over to you, Pastor Chooks. What do we have for our viewers?
Welcome, ladies. Welcome, gentlemen. If there are any gentlemen on the live stream today, we welcome you. It's a beautiful Thursday evening. It's our time where we hang out and talk the amazing power that God has put inside of women. Well, today is the last Thursday of the month, and it's usually when we talk about the body of the woman. Yeah. Today is Ask Your Gynae. Ask Your Gynae. And we do have our resident consultant gynecologist on hand to bring us a very powerful teaching, very enlightening. So this is your time to click on the share button and invite all the sisters, all your girlfriends, everybody. If you have any woman around you in your life, you need to connect them to the broadcast tonight. Because what is going to be shared tonight is really, really going to help them. So this is your moment to share, and let the people around you know that the broadcast is on, and invite them, and let's have a good time. All right.
And what are we dealing with today? What is
we are dealing with stress.
Yes.
We are dealing with stress. Dr. Audrey Gugugametse is going to be talking about stress for the working woman, for the 21st century woman. How is stress affecting you? How do you need to manage stress? How do you need to contain it? What is the effect of stress on your body, on the different systems of your body? Those are the things we're going to be getting quite a bit of information and enlightenment, because all of us, we are living in stressful times. You need to know how to manage it and contain it so that you are able to function optimally and achieve all that God wants you to achieve. All right, God bless you. We're going to bring Dr. Gameza just now.
Yes, we will just tell you a little bit more about her in her intro video, and then afterwards we will have her just run through what she has for us today. God bless you. Afterwards, we will see you to give you some additional information. Thank you. Have a blessed time.
Enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show. Amen.
Dr. Audrey Gugugameze. Dr. Audrey Gugugameze is a medical doctor by profession, a specialist consultant in obstetrics and gynecology. She runs her own private practice where she helps and serves women from all walks of life on a daily basis. She has a heart for women because she identifies, by virtue of being a woman, a sister, a mother, a wife, a daughter-in-law, and understands the journey of a woman, and is still passionate about wanting to learn more about women. She's a born-again Christian medical practitioner. She sees her medical practice as a powerful ministry platform, an opportunity to touch and transform the lives of women and their families to the glory of God. Dr. Gamedze features monthly on our Ask Your Gynae show at the Amazing Power of Woman broadcast, where she helps women understand the female body and how to care for it. She's the mother of 2 children and has been married for over 22 years.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening to the amazing women out there. We're very grateful for this Thursday again for the wonderful session of Ask Your Gynae. We will be tackling a very interesting topic, which is very close to my heart as well, on how does a woman deal with stress? Wow. Does it really need a gynae to talk about stress? Of course, because it affects every functioning component of the woman's body, and hence it stretches out to her well-being and the general functioning in her house, in her family, and in all her other spheres of functioning. Interestingly, statistics from the US say that about 70% of women are affected by stress. If we were to define stress, what would we say? In short, it will just be the body's reaction to bouts of pressure. So if you are under a certain pressure in your life, that pressure can be transient, it can be prolonged. The way your body responds to that is called stress, or the stress response. I've tried to come out with a list of what actually causes stress. Like I've said, that other than knowing that stress is caused by this and this, it is your own body's response that translates whatever is happening around you to stress. So this can include finances, which is a very common thing around this time because we have been hit by the COVID pandemic. Some of us are unemployed, others have got one member of the family employed, businesses are not doing well, so finance can contribute to stress. Relationships are another aspect. This can range from your own husband-wife relationship, extended family relationship, work relationship, including divorce, including marriage. Anything that hovers around relationship has a potential to cause stress. Then work. With work, it can be performance related, it can be finding the work, it can be terminating a contract. Anything that centers around work can provoke stress. Physically, it could be illnesses. Illnesses range from minor illnesses to chronic illnesses. Those also can result in stress. I've tried to sort of categorize the types of stress that we can be faced with. It can be acute stress. That means that it's just coming now. Let me make an example. Somebody who is having an interview tomorrow, that can be a once-off stress and you get out of it as soon as your interview is done. The second type of stress is chronic stress. Chronic stress is something that goes on with you for a long time. Whether what can bring it to rest is whether you move away from it or it moves away from you. An example will be maybe an abusive relationship. Every day you wake up to this abuse, you sleep to this abuse. So until you move yourself from the stress or until the person perpetuating moves away from you, then that would be the termination of a chronic stress. Another way to look at it would be a physical stress. Like when you are ill, that is something that's happening to your body. Or psychological stress. That is something that's eating you in your brain or in your heart or in your emotions, whichever way you put it. That will be psychological stress. Psychological stress, usually it's not something that you can hold to say this is what, but thinking about how am I going to feed my children? How am I going to make ends meet the next day? that sits with you in your heart, or will I ever live to see my children graduate? So that will be a type of a psychological stress. Then there's another form they put, psychospiritual or psychosocial. So all of those can now be a combination of one or the other. But the end result is it is all happening in the woman's body. And why are we as women prone to stress? It is purely because of the way we were made. When you read Pastor Chuk's book on the amazing power of woman, it actually elaborates how complex or how intricate you are made. So it's easier to internalize certain things, and stress actually leverages on who you are. It leverages on your strength. Let me make an example. If you are a woman who is very capable, who makes decisions and so on, if there is anything that's going to stress you, it's not going to come from the part of your deficiencies, but it always comes from the part of your strength. So if you've got a stress in a certain aspect of your life, you must know that that is where your strength is actually as a woman. And what you need to do is to capitalize on that and do what David said that one day, that he has turned my mourning into dancing again. Find that dancing in that morning. Okay. And then what are the symptoms? The certain things that we can see when you are stressed. Sometimes if you've got friends that would even ask you, Choma, are you okay? Are you sure everything is fine? And you'll keep on saying, I'm okay, I'm fine. And you wear that beautiful lipstick, you wear those nice eyelashes just to say that I'm okay. But there are certain things that we can see that you are going under stress. So those things, we call them somatic signs. That is, they are showing on your flesh that something is going wrong. Number one, it can show from your sleep. You get to have distracted sleep. You have a lot of nightmares. You wake up feeling pain or unrewarding sleep. You've slept for your 8 hours, but you wake up feeling unrewarded. Or you've got difficulty falling off to sleep. And once you fall off to sleep, you've got difficulty sustaining the sleep. If you can sustain the sleep, there's difficulty waking up. There's people who can literally sleep over 14 hours and still wake up feeling as tired as if they didn't sleep at all. That could be a sign of stress. Secondly, diet. It can work either way. Some people, when they are stressed, they overeat. Like you gain 2-3 sizes in a space of less than a month. That could be a sign of stress. Other people, they tend to be evasive towards food. You can't eat. Even though you eat, your body just quickly burns the food out. So you start losing a lot of weight. That could be a somatic sign of stress. Apart from that, other people have a very disrupted mood. You are so unpleasant to everybody around you. If it's children, you're hitting them, you're stoning them, you stamping on them. If it's work, you just chop everybody's neck. When they walk in, you're shouting at them. Clients, they are having an unpleasurable life. Your mood can either be on the destructive side or more on the withdrawn side. If you are a very much outgoing person, all of a sudden now you lock yourself up, you don't want to talk, your answers are yes, no, you cry a lot. Certain people, they just buy a box of tissues, you sit down and you cry yourself out. That is a sign that there is something that is not going right. So, stress can push you either into a depressed mode, that is where now you've got all the signs of feeling down, or it can push you towards the manic mode, where you are overcompensating to cover up the signs that you are stressed. So you go out clubbing, you're drinking a lot, you don't want to, if it is in church, you want to be seen, you are the praying one, you are the praise and worship one, you walking in with your high heels, like you're trying to draw attention. There's a sign of stress somewhere. So that could be the physical signs of stress. Or now you are having pains everywhere. Commonly, people will complain of headaches. Headache is a sign that you are not resting, you are over processing, and you are trying to meet ends which you don't know how. So headache is a common sign. Other people get ulcers. Now and then people are saying, I need to go and see the doctor. I think that I've got indigestion. So you've chowed all the enos, you've drank all the bottles of Gaviscon, it's just not working. You must find out what is it that is actually stressing you. And then with the signs of ulcers and so on, I must emphasize here that it is very important to see somebody once you feel like your tummy is grinding itself. That's how I put it. Other people will go to the extent of vomiting blood, or when you go to the toilet for a number 2 to make a poop, there's blood also, or your stool is so black. That is a sign that now your intestines or your stomach has started digesting itself because of the heightened stress, heightened acidity in your body. So it's very important to see somebody who's going to assist you with that. The other somatic sign that we see, more especially ladies, is hair loss. So nowadays people wear wigs, the Peruvian, the Brazilian, we don't know what is it that you are covering underneath. So hair loss is another sign of stress. Skin, you'll see lots of pimples, dry skin. That is a sign that you are going through a difficult time, you're going through stress. I can mention a lot of things, the list goes on. So now, how do we deal with this as women? Number one, I always love to say that it is important to listen to yourself. I think self is the one person who may know you much better than everybody else. If you're going through a difficult time, acknowledge. Be in agreement with yourself that, okay, this is a difficult time. Then it gets easier to find a way out. It gets easier to select who do I talk to about my difficult time. It gets easier to have solutions lined up for you. In the house of the Lord, my dear sisters, my dear mothers, my daughters, there is help. The house of the Lord has got all the professionals that you would pay for if you would go for consultation outside. The house of the Lord has got people who are always willing to pray with you, to pray for you. And the house of the Lord is full of people who have walked the same path that you are walking. Hence, there is no need to sit down with your stress and think that you can figure things out on your own. So be open to assistance. So acknowledge that there is a problem. Secondly, acknowledge that there is a way out through your problem. There's a concept that psychologists use, a concept of journaling. That is when you buy a booklet or an exercise book, a notebook, and you write down the issues. It is so amazing that once you start journaling, it's easier to have a direction as to what is the problem. What do I think is my way out through this problem? And then who can assist me? So if you journal, it's easier to overcome your issues. So acknowledge, acknowledge, acknowledge. Number 2, your food. The certain foods that aggravate stress. A good example will be coffee. If you are stressed, you're not sleeping, your heart is already racing, you've got headaches and so on, now you take coffee. Coffee will still make your heart race. It will still make you feel a little bit more anxious. It will still help you not to sleep. So you're not improving your situation by taking coffee. I'm not saying coffee is wrong. Please get me very clearly. I'm just highlighting things that are in your diet that exacerbate your symptoms of stress. So there are calming foods that you can drink. Like, let's say instead of coffee, you decide I'm going to take chamomile tea. That is going to help you feel a little bit better. So your diet is very important. Even in times when you feel like, I just want to stand in front of the fridge and demolish. Instead of loading your fridge, keep your fridge empty so that you don't go and stand in front of the fridge and demolish. Also find foods that will assist you to feel full for longer, like your nuts, your proteins. Those are very important in helping you manage your stress. Exercise. Exercise can never be overdone or underdone. Exercise will help you, number one, depending on what you choose, to get into some different routine. So instead of waking up, taking the tissues and crying, you'll wake up and go to the gym. You'll wake up and run. Whilst you are running, you meet a neighbor with his dog or with her dog. You start chatting. How are you? How was your morning? Oh, you know what? I was just thinking about going to Mauritius and so on. Before you know it, you've hooked up on somebody, you're going. So exercise, exercise. Secondly, exercise will channel your energy in the right direction. Let me make an example. You choose boxing. You are this aggressive person who goes to work now. You start shouting at your staff. You're hitting tables. You breaking glasses. If you go for a boxing class, I promise you, you'll come back feeling much better. And if your stressor is in a form of a person, there is no way you're going to be reported for domestic violence because you're channeling your energy in the right place. The other thing that can help under exercise, it's breathing exercises. There's people whom when they are stressed, they just talk anyhow. But if you take a moment and just breathe before you say something, you'll be amazed how much you will avert by just making that 1 second breather. Also, some people with stress, you tend not to breathe that much. Hence, your level of oxygen in your brain is a little bit more compromised. Those breathing exercises will help calm you down. They'll help improve your oxygenation. Hence, your thought process will be even much better. So what you have journaled on, you can go back and read and see that this was nonsense. I was just about, or I was a second away from causing disaster. So breathing, breathing, breathing. Also, the other thing about breathing, you're giving your body to take out toxins. So when you breathe in, you're expanding your lungs, you are allowing all that carbon dioxide out. It will assist you also in a clear thought process. Then the other type of exercise is yoga. There's a lot that has been said about yoga. I will excuse myself from the spirituality around yoga, but I am putting across because I know that our broadcasts, they go far and wide in helping women from all backgrounds. With yoga, it's basically a breathing exercise that is more directed and under supervision and guidance. It will also help you to stretch your body. If you are not stretching because you are stressed, your body is always tense. Some people are even found grinding their teeth because of how much stressed you are. Your jaw muscles are forever clenched because you are so stressed. But if you go for yoga, you learn the breathing exercises, the stretch exercises that can be very much beneficial. Also, exercises like rowing, where you need to sit down and plan how you're going to push your craft around the water. That also helps. Swimming, like small things, swimming, making sure that you spend that time in water, it will help rejuvenate you. Then the other thing that you can do also as a measure to intervene in stress, it is withdrawing yourself. You can go for some weekend seminars, you can go for some weekend trips, you can go for holidays are very expensive, but if you can afford, go for a holiday. That will give you clarity of mind. If you are a big family, you ask the aunties to take the children, you stay alone in the house. That will help you clarify your mind as well, other than to keep on taking out stress on the minors in the house. Then for me, the big thing for the purposes of this presentation, it is having spiritual support. As a woman, as a daughter in the house of the Lord, you need to have strong spiritual support. That can come in the form of pastoral care. that can come in the form of the elders in the church, that can come in the form of the mothers we have in the church. Can I reiterate this? The mothers we have in the church have gone through everything that you are going through as a young woman. They've gone through everything that you're going through as a young girl. So it is important to attach yourself to somebody in the body of Christ who can be of assistance in that direction. Secondly, pastoral care. Every woman under the sound of my voice, you can't say that you're doing church online. When TD Jakes logs on, you are there. When Pastor, when the singers or the praise and worshipers, you are following, say Sinesh, when he logs or when she logs on, you are there. You need pastoral care where you're gonna be taught the basics of. As a child of God, how do you go through discipline? The discipline of I'm waking up, I'm going to church. The discipline of I've got 10 cents, I need to divide it for offering, for tithes, and for my house. All of those things are in the house of the Lord. Pastoral care will sort you out in the direction. And so that you can be also able to say, these are my needs, and somebody assists you in that. Online church is very good. I don't want to lie, because you've got time, allocated time to do X and Y, but fellowship, you need that as much as you need online church. So every woman under the sound of my voice, please be under pastoral care. You need somebody to take care of you. You need somebody to pray for you. You need somebody to talk to when you are going through stressful times. And then belong to smaller groups. Like in my church, we've got cell groups, we've got Bible study groups. Belong to those things. Joburg, like the women in Joburg, they would know it is so busy. You really get time to attach yourself to these smaller groups that are happening in church. Yet those are so vital to build the inner strength in you, to build the who you are, so that you can transcend and be above all these challenges or cope with the challenges. I can say today that there is no challenge that comes to your life that is a weakness. All of them, they come to accentuate your strength, to help you find the who you are and become a better person. So stress, is it good? Is it bad? Is it killing? Is it healing? You're going to answer that when we finish this session. The other thing, apart from joining those smaller groups, belong to a family. Belong to a family. Somebody can say that I don't have a mother, I don't have a father, my family is outside South Africa, and so on. I promise you, in the house of the Lord, you'll find a mother, you'll find a mother, you'll find a father figure if you need a father figure in your life. So belong to a family, somewhere where you can be molded. We come from very different backgrounds. Some of us attract stress by the way we talk. Just when you open your mouth, a pair of scissors comes through, you're chopping everything. And when you meet people of your own caliber now who are going to reiterate to what you are saying or react to what you're saying, then you start getting hurt and you feel like every time you open your mouth, people are attacking you. But if you belong to a family, you'll find somebody who will be honest enough to tell you that, my child, you must watch your tongue. Your tongue is very destructive, and that's going to help you. Maybe your husband has said it several times that when my wife opens the mouth, it's so destructive. But because it's a partner, you take him otherwise. If you belong to a family, you will be assisted to overpower that. And then when all has been said and done, certain behaviors result in clinically manifesting abnormalities. See a psychologist, see a psychiatrist. That is when things are getting out of hand and you cannot control the results of the stress. So what a psychologist do? A psychologist is somebody who will sit with you like a counselor, same like your pastor would, and try and ascertain what are the key areas that result in this abnormal reaction in your body? Then you list them down, and then they try and identify your responses. They try and identify how can you be assisted to better respond. If your problem is above that, then you'll be referred to a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist now is a doctor who will issue a diagnosis and start you on treatment. Even that treatment can be differentiated into two. There's the one where the talking will happen, and there's the other part where the medication will happen. So if I were to advise my sisters, I would say that stress is so much manageable that you actually don't need to get to a point where you are admitted, you are hospitalized, you're being given treatment just so that you can cope. If you can have that mirror every single day to say, what is it that I'm dealing with? Am I responding appropriately? If you're dealing with something that you feel that is taking a lot of strength from you, share it immediately so that you've got somebody who is supporting you, you've got somebody who is praying with you, you've got somebody who objectively talks to you. One of the things that has helped me in my journey is to have reliable people who will tell you point blank when you are wrong, to say, Kuku, you were wrong here. Not people who will keep on covering every time you come and you tell them that, you know what, the dog bit me. And they'll say, yeah, that dog, it likes offending people. People who will be honest enough to say, what did you do to the dog? Then you can take those few steps to say that, actually, I offended the dog because I just walked through the yard. So oftentimes stress is an interaction. Like I said, when I defined it, that you get the insult, and then the way you respond, it's the way it will keep on responding to you. So that form of interaction is what will gradually build up in your body to result in a certain illness. So in my summary, I would say, we are all living in stressful times. The pandemic has been a stress enough. And being a woman sometimes can be a stress enough because we're dealing with hormones in our bodies, let alone that we fall pregnant, we go through periods and so on. All those things, they culminate to stress. But as a woman, it is very much important to organize yourself. If work is a problem, see how you can organize yourself. Have a schedule of how you work around things. If relationships are a problem, find a way of dealing either with a relationship through counseling or through a structure that will facilitate you being able to work out. And also know when to withdraw yourself from a relationship if it is toxic. It is also therapy to block out people who are causing stress for you. But the important thing is to acknowledge, like I said, that acknowledgement, it is part of intervention. Then if the problem is finances, I love this. I wish one day, pastors, we can get somebody who can talk to the ladies about finances. Because in our marriages, in our personal lives, finances rank very high as a cause for stress. So I would say, learn to say no. If you see that lovely wig, say no to buying it, because you know that later in the year you have to pay school fees, or early in the year you have to buy uniforms. Learn to say no. Number two, budget, budget, budget. If something is not on your budget, it's a no. Even if it comes up as an emergency, it's not wrong to say, I can't afford it, or I don't have money for it, because it is out of your budget. Be honest to yourself. Acknowledge that I am getting X amount of money. There's no way I can make it stretch, unless, of course, you are investing in business. So as ladies, there is multiple ways we can deal with stress, but the important thing is just to acknowledge that there is a stress here. It is to acknowledge that there is a stressor and there is always a workout. Importantly, stay under pastoral care. Our pastors are very much willing to assist us manage stress. Don't die alone there. My dear sister, we are all out here to help you manage stress. I thank you. Till we meet again on another session of Ask Your Gynae. God bless you.
Wow, welcome back. Dr. Gameze, you are amazing.
Yes.
You always bring the A game. Thank you so much for so much insight you shared, so much help to the women out there. Well, all my sisters, all my mothers, all my aunties, all the daughters, whatever you are to me, you've heard the wisdom. Take it and use it, and let God bless you. Any comments on the
Yeah,
things
it's
that
been such
Dr.
a powerful one.
Gameze shared?
And for me, some of what she actually brought out was the areas where you need to know that there's support available for you. There is support available for you. You need to come under the guidance of mentors, of your pastors. You need to find somewhere where you can get where you can get the help you need, where you can have people have an input into your life. And that reminds, I wanted to just mention also for anyone who is watching out there, as part of our continuing around the Amazing Power of Woman, we have a Facebook page, the Amazing Power of Woman Facebook page. And right now we've also created 2 groups, even from that page. We have the Praying Brides in Waiting, that's for our singles. And what we just do is that we meet once a week to just pray. 5 a.m. very early in the morning, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m.
South African time.
South African time. Details will be on the screen shortly. And it's on Wednesdays, we just pray and praying around that area, around our relationships. Those are some of the things that cause stress for singles. And so we want to begin to pray and just mold ourselves as women of God. And we're not forgetting our wives also. For our wives also have another group that we're forming, praying, that's already there, a Facebook group under the Amazing Power of Woman Facebook page. It's called Praying Wives. And we meet on Thursdays just to also do the same thing. Pray. A lot of people, like what she was mentioning about, some people in their relationships, they're going through a lot and it's adding stress to them. So why not come at a place where you can just pray about these aspects of your life, your marriage, your relationship, your children, your in-laws, the things that actually bring these stressful situations into our lives. We can pray. There's nothing that prayer cannot do. So I want to encourage you, if you are interested, please join us on Thursdays. You just need to join. It's a private group, even though it's you can readily find the name there. Seek to join that group and join us Thursdays once a week. Let's pray about our relationships. Let's begin to tackle those areas that are stressful for all of us. It's just a time where women gather and we take the time to pray the scriptures, the word of God. And that's it from me for today.
Well, good night. Thank you so much. If you're single, join the group for singles on
Praying Brides
in Waiting. If you're married, join the married group, and let's support one another.
Yes.
And connect with the flow of the grace of God and deal with the things we need to deal with. Good night. We'll see you next week for another edition of the Amazing Power of Woman broadcast. Bye-bye.
The Power of Woman Academy is a group mentoring program for high-impact women. Women who want to change their lives and their worlds and move on to the next level. Power of Woman Academy is aimed and tailored at unleashing the passion and greatness locked inside you as a woman as you walk the journey of life over the mentorship period with our team of distinguished and well-accomplished mentors from all walks of life. Our mentors are indeed destiny helpers. These mentors come to inspire you. They come to encourage you, to challenge you, to teach you, to stretch you, and to empower you. They are committed to helping you fulfill your highest potential and help you birth your wildest dreams that have been placed in you by God. For more information about the Power of Woman Academy, please visit www.powacademy.co.za or for inquiries, call 064 200 1545.